Good evening and welcome back to my channel. I'm Skybriedge. The system has failed Katlego Bereng'S family. Imagine waking up one morning only to discover your child has been used as part of a prison escape. That's the raw heartbreak Katlego Bereng'S father, Bato Mfolo, lives every day. Katlego vanished in April 2022. A year later, a charred body in cell 35 at Mangaung Correctional Center was confirmed as his only after DNA tests, but the family still doesn't know who they match to which remains. Patricia Mashali invited Katlego Bereng'S father for an interview regarding his son, who was used as a sacrificial lamb inside Thabo Bester's escape from prison. Now listen as Bato speaks for the first time on camera. Sad moment indeed.
We are trying as a family. Even though we are a bit disappointed, our current government is failing us. The justice system is failing us. Why am I saying that? I believe everybody knows that our son went missing. And only after a year, it was discovered that, the body that was used in Thabo Bester's escape was that of our son. And to my more disappointment is the fact that we reported a missing person report because our son never got sick, as the state claimed. We reported a missing person. We opened a missing person report when we found that he's missing. And, as things unfolded, we followed up. And then we understood that the last day that my son went missing, he left with his friend who stays, in the neighborhood, who does not longer stay there anymore after discovering that he's missing. And to my disappointment, it was when the NPA withdrew the murder charges, even though the autopsy, shows that there was a blunt trauma force, my son was killed, but, that was brushed aside. Why? Because, every man has a price. In this case, money played a vital role for people to lie through their teeth, even for the murder charges to be withdrawn against those who were first accused. Then the question is, how do you withdraw murder charges even when the death certificate shows that this was an unnatural cause? The cause of death is unnatural. And there is an autopsy that shows that this person was killed. And Sispet, you can relate my son's murder to the murder of the recent boy who was killed in prison, same style. And where it was, they gave the same message that the boy was collapsed, the same way they say my son collapsed. But when the autopsy was done, it was still a blunt force trauma on him as well. So you can see that these people, they have one style, execution style of killing, of committing murder, which is blunt force trauma. That was found on my son, but everything, the murder charges were brushed aside, and we are no longer in the picture. It's only when they mention something about my son, it was that they violated a corpse. They violated a body. But now the question is, how did my son's body end up in the G4S premises? Our son was killed, but everything is just brushed. And I was so angry as well when I was listening 2 days ago, their case against Netflix, when the lawyer was saying people will portray Thabo Bester as the person who escaped. But now, at the back of their mind, they forget that, behind this escape, there is a grieving family. Yes. Behind this escape, there is injustice to us as the family. Sispet, I went to a point of using my contacts to get hold of the Minister of Health, Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi, who referred me to the MEC of Health in the Free State. On the 24th of June, we went there to have a meeting. because my point was, I am not happy about the report that they are giving us as the family, which is not true. But well, even if we can take what the state says is the truth, the fact of the matter is that if they say my son died in a hospital, my question was, how did they allow somebody who is not related to my son to take his corpse, to take his remains? Because, after all this thing unfolded, after it was known that it was our son, when we went to claim the remains, because Katlego's mother was married, she's using a married surname, and Katlego was never on my surname. She's still using the mother's maiden surname. Now, we had to look for a relative who shares the same surname as Katlego, as the known parents at that time. Now, my question against the Department of Health was, if after everything unfolded, after it was known that it was our son, that we had to have a relative using the same surname as Katlego to claim his remains. Now, why was it easy for Dr. Nandipa to gain access of my son's body? The department didn't give me, a right question, answer. They didn't answer us correctly. They didn't even take responsibility that, yes, we hear what you say. This is our point. Their point was that we must wait until the case is over. And I said, when will the case be over? Because even if everything is set, even if the trial can start tomorrow, they will never mention how my son body was removed from the government mortuary to be used. It will always be violation of the corpse. There is nowhere where we fit in as the family in this case. Everything is about Thabo Bester. Everything is about Nandipa. There is no way where we fit in. We wanted the department to take responsibility to say, yes, according to our reports, your son's body, your son died in our premises, and somehow somebody somehow was paid to release his body to other people who are not related to him. As much as they are lying to us about his death, they also don't want to take responsibility of what they are claiming, to say now there is a gray area here where something went wrong, where we didn't do right to the family, and the family has the right to complain. Now, everyone wants to be politically correct, which, it is a burden to us. On the 17th of September last year, somebody recommended a lawyer to us. We met with the lawyer, we opened a file, we stated our case with him, and he said, no, he will take the case. And he said he will come back to us in two weeks. On the second week, they demanded a deposit of 4,008 to start the case, of which, as the family, we paid. And that was the last time we heard from them. In February this year, I came across a clip from other media talking about this escape where the correctional services went wrong. I sent it to this lawyer, and then instead of replying to me, he just sent me a question mark. Then I waited a week. A week after, I said to him, you haven't come back to us. So I'm trying to give you as much information as I can so that you can have a case to continue with this. He then said, I will come back to you. It took him another 4 months waiting. I think in May, I then sent him with his secretary. I sent them a correspondence. I said, guy, why did you agree to take this case, knowing that you will never go ahead with it, knowing that you will ditch us, or knowing that you will receive bribe so that you can just set this case aside? Why did you do that? They never answered. Up until after a few days, I then sent them a message. I said, if you don't pay me back what you asked me to pay, the 4,800, if you don't pay me back, I'm taking this conversation to the media. I then said, I'm giving you 24 hours. If I don't see anything, I'm taking our conversation to the media because I've been communicating with you guys. You never communicated back to me. I think a few days, that's when they paid me back. Now you can ask yourselves, Spet, that even when the lawyer can do this to us, where is our hope? Who can help us? You know, it is a very devastating situation, you know, whereby if I'm saying the state failed us is understatement. You know, I don't know how to describe this. This is not, this is unacceptable. This is wrong. This is inhuman treatment that we are getting. Yesterday, I was talking to someone based in Bloemfontein, whom it was recommended to Monica by somebody. I think that lawyer helped somebody with the hospital issues and so forth. Even though I was reluctant, what I need a man of woman of integrity to help us. Because there are a lawyer that I found this site in Gauteng, but now it's going to cost us because for a meeting, the family from Bloemfontein has to come down. Even Katlego's baby mamas have to be part of that meeting. So it's going to cost the family a lot, which we don't have. Those are the people that can help, but now for them to help us is going to cost us a lot of money when they have to come down from Bloemfontein to a meeting. Whereas this side, I'm the only person who can move around, and I can easily move around if I am alone. So I just said we will use those lawyers as the last resort. But I'm appealing out there for God-fearing lawyers, for men of and women of integrity, you know, because what we want is justice. Because I went as far as even trying to communicate with the Minister of Correctional Services, because I wanted to handle this out of court, thinking I will meet people with right senses. I will meet people who understand life, to say, okay, we understand your cry as a family, let's talk. But then, and also, let me go back a little further, back to our meeting with Department of Health. You won't believe that in that meeting, there was a doctor who claimed that he's the one who received Katlego when he was transported to the hospital. He's the one who dealt with Katlego. You know, just made me angry. I said, I don't want those kind of reports because they are not truth. Now you can see how this movie was planned from the beginning. It was not planned in 1 year. It was not planned in 2 years. It was planned a long time. And they found their target a long time. Why am I saying they found their target? Look at the documentary now that was released recently. The initials TK Nkwana. What does T stand for in there? What does K stand for in those names? You'll find that because if I remember very, T stand for Thomas or something, but K stand for Katlego. So you can make up your mind as a person who think to say that means this thing has been planned for a long time, and Katlego was identified long before he can even knew that he was identified. This thing was planned a long time, and most people have been paid to play part in this movie, to play part in this role. You know, imagine a doctor, someone who is a professional, lying through his teeth that he received Katlego and examined him. He had fits, he had this, he has that. A doctor, qualified doctor, lying through his teeth.
There you go, good people. You heard for yourselves. Katlego's father is asking for help in order to pursue justice for his son. We all know there are good people out there who can go an extra mile for a good cause. I wish the family gets help so they can find closure. Batho intends to sue the state, Thabo Bester, and Dr. Nandifa Magudumana for answers. He asks, "Who killed my son? How did his body end up in that cell?" If you believe no family should suffer in silence, stand with Katlego's loved ones. Share this video. Demand accountability now. Subscribe for updates on this case. Watch next, Inside Thabo Bester's Escape. Comment below, what would you ask Batho if you could? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on my next upload. Bye.